Hello everybody, this is Edgar Fernandez from Safefficient Limited. Today, the topic that we want to talk about it's the importance of performance improvement in management systems. This is a video and podcast at the same time, so we want to start. What is the importance of performance improvements in management systems? Well, I was doing some searching why management systems are not successful after implementation and why companies are having troubles to keep up, and the most important to engage and encourage continuous improvement through using the management system that they have implemented in the past. Well, there are two main fields that nowadays companies they focus their efforts. And the two of them, it's continuous improvement, like I mentioned, and management systems. They are the two main components, the two main fields that they are focus their efforts to generate solutions and knowledge in their organizations. Excuse me. So they are the two main fields. But the reality is, none of those in the reality they have a relationship. They should, absolutely, and I totally agree with that. But for a reason that I want to mention in a few minutes, management systems are not encouraging and are not promoting continuous improvement. And we want to see the reasons why. Well, before that, I was searching through McKinsey and Company, and they did some research in different industries. And they conclude that only 30% of the companies or less achieve transformation. That's and 70% actually they see that change is difficult, uncomfortable, and stressful. Although I want to mention, for example, the ISO standards, international standard organization, that through the ISO 9000s and the ISO 14000s and now the ISO 45000. Before OSHA's 18,000, they have at least they have been in I would say not in the market, but companies that were using or that have been used they have been using these standards for at least 20 years or more. So I remember through my experience the first time that I was exposed to the three ISOs it was in 1998, and the ISO organization has been updating these standards, and in 2015 was the last one. But although the ISO has made a lot of efforts on trying to encourage continuous improvement at the same time, transformation hasn't been achieved through the management system. And the data says 30% only have achieved that. 70% they see it difficult, uncomfortable, and stressful. But why? What are the reasons why? Because this 30% says that they are doing something correct, or they are doing something different, I would say, to achieve, to actually potentialize their management system, take advantage of that system, and then use it for transformation. So we will see. One of the transformation roadblocks, actually, they were saying during on the researching is cultural changes and other reasons. But 96%, according that you can see in this graphic, in this pie chart, is cultural changes. So transformation is a cultural change. That's the reason why it has been difficult to potentialize your management system. So when we say it's a change management, not a management of change. By saying that, it's the mindset that I'm gonna talk a little bit about it later. So what is the reasons of these roadblocks? Well, 57% actually agree that the past failures were the main contributory factors to change resistance. So they say, well, in the past didn't work. Why is gonna work now? And those type of experiences and affirmations we say to affirm that because didn't work in the past, it's not gonna work in the present, is the 50% of the reasons why management systems are not working as supposed to. But another 33% that is very important, I would say more than the 57%, and it's something that I want to stress, is lack of management involvement. Why? Why I want to stress this? Because once we achieve, I'm seeing through my experience, and when I say my experience, it's not only working, it's talking with expert people in management systems, in continuous improvement, reading from other articles, etc. We stopped, so we achieved that, and the only thing that we do is to try to control the system. In other words, it's we control opportunity for improvements or deviations. We conduct investigations, and that's it. So it's like we have mentioned before in other articles, it's we don't analyze the data. So when we have the audit coming, now management is involved because they know that how important is the certification for purposes of marketing only, not for purposes of really to achieve a transformation. And that is something that is I want to stress. And that is when mindset is coming. So we need to shift the mindset. Because it's I agree it's only for marketing purposes. If you want to export to Europe or you want to sell for another pharmaceutical company, you are a vendor or supplier. Some of them they gonna ask or they require ISO certification. However, it's only for marketing purposes, but it's gonna give you more headaches than benefits if you go with that mindset. That's the thing that I'm trying to tell you. So going for marketing purposes and to sell more and you don't do anything about it to take advantage of that system is gonna be in the other way. It's gonna create more headaches. And other reasons, like I said, it's part of the reasons as well, but there are many of them that we wanna see actually. So I during my searching, I tried to group these other causes. And so the first one is a cycle. Actually, you can see here in this graphic is a cycle. It's actually we cannot say number one is this and the number 10 is that one. No, actually could be either one or a combination of many. So the first one is the cookie cutter solutions. Actually, you see it in the graphic is, well, we know that standards and regulation are sometimes or many times strict and tight. Therefore, we consider, this is the mindset now, that we consider that those standards and regulations, they're going to slow your improvement. That's the root cause that why management systems are not working and the reason why performance is not improving. But you need a creativity. You need you need creativity for sure, and you need a creative organizations be able to comply with the standards and regulations to meet their goals. I remember, I'm gonna talk about my personal experience. I remember one time I was working for an organization, and we need to solve one problem. We need to find a solution for one problem, and how we did it well, we did it actually forming a team and doing a Kaizen blitz, and everybody inputting their ideas to solve that problem. That the final result was a reduction in injuries and an increase of production and performance of the people who was working on that particular production station. They were the results. But you need the creativity and you need to promote more of those type of solutions as well. And instead of trying to find shortcuts or quick solutions that they're gonna help you only to pass the audit in this case, but like I said, you're gonna have more headaches now. So you passed, now more headaches. If you don't have a creativity or start encouraging to have a creative organization. The another one is the lack of desire of improvement. This is the thing that it's a performance improvement, and it's very important, especially in this fourth industrial revolution, in this technological DNH, because it's the improvement. So what is the lack of desire of improvement? Um, so we have this on the status quo, and the status quo actually is the biggest enemy of improvement and transformation, by the way. Says doesn't break, doesn't fix it. So pretty much leave it in like it is, and we leave it in that way. In some situations, yes, absolutely. Sometimes we need to have that type of mindset, but not always. I would say it's gonna be limited. So if your organization or you're in a company that they only is going to be just for compliance, you're going to have a lot of work to do, and it's going to be painful, like I said. But you need you need to see your management system more than a compliance requirement, like I said, to sell. It's a system that is you're going to collect data that is going to allow you to to do continuous improvement, and that continuous improvement is going to allow you to make transformations in your organization, and also it's going to help you to um, excel the market. And I'm not telling the market in terms of products that you're going to sell, just in terms of retention of people, decreasing turnover, encouraging, I mean, motivation, encouraging your people to learn more. Because at the end, that's the thing that is going to help you to sell more. Stakeholders expectations. Sometimes when we go to the management system implementation, we go, like I said, because only for marketing purposes, and we forget, or we tend to forget other departments that they're going to be impact, and we need to know what are the expectations from them as well. So obviously, for some departments that they're going to be benefit, is going to be sales, but I don't know how much more, much more work you need to add to your quality assurance department, for example, to achieve these. How much more your production department needs to do to stay in compliance all the time and keep the management system in control. You need to know those expectations from each one of your business units in your organization as well. And obviously that's going to generate expectations for each one of them, and it's going to generate agreements, and therefore it's going to generate better teamwork. Organization behavior. That's another one. Another reason why management systems are not successful, because organizations don't engage their entire company to rethink. So you go out, you start implementing. Top management establishes the goals, and they start implementing. But you haven't asked, or you haven't put teams that they're multidisciplinary teams to start rethinking how the things needs to be done in the future. That's another thing another reason why your management system is not great. Tools. I'm seeing that many companies during the implementation of those standards, safety, quality, or environmental, they start acquiring tools, softwares, for example. But the reason, but tools actually, uh, if you don't have the input of your teams or your people, the tools are useless. So let me give you an example. So, for example, do you remember the United Airlines case? So when they took somebody from out from the plane, and I don't know, many problems, because sometimes these airlines, they pack the plane, and also they double book the plane the seats, and then now they have troubles. Well, What happened is actually it's in a case. I was reading a little bit the case, and the reason one of the discoveries or one of the during the investigation was discovered that top management spends too much time or too long in the war room. So in other words, in their offices and meeting rooms. But really, they don't know what the employees on the bottom or below them what they think about it. So they buy tools, they believe they are great, but they, you get frustration from your employees, from your workers, and then the tools are not useful, are not great as supposed to be. And this is because of that little aspect. This is very important, changing mindsets. Especially in safety and quality, we focus on changing the behaviors. In safety, there is something that is based behavior safety, and you can see many people specialize on that. It's been successful. In my personal experience, no. I don't know in other experiences, but in my personal experience, no. Why? Because you try to modify the behavior that is being affected by the culture of the company. So therefore, you need to change the mindset. Like I said, if you're gonna implement the safety management system, for example, core, but core is not, it's a type of management system, but it's not really. But I want to use that example here in Canada, core. Everybody's putting core because uh, marketing reasons. Yeah, but I'm agree that you try to prevent injuries, etc. But um, we need to be honest. So once they implement it, so you can sign contracts with the oil and gas producers and more companies, and you have benefits from the government. That's it, and everything stopped there. And then they believe with that system you won't have injuries, or yeah, exactly, you won't have injuries. That is totally incorrect, because we are not analyzing the data from incident investigations and here from the management system, all the information that's generated by analyzing statistical data, data through statics, for example, key performance indicators, etc. We expect that our employees are going to change without changing us in case top management. So the first thing that is going to actually affect the fourth industrial revolution and is going to be a huge impact to everybody is the mindset. It's going to force you now to collaborate more, to share ideas, people the skills, establishing relationships, positions. People now is not going to see you as the top, as at the top mind, the top person in the organization, CEO, and say yes or no, because actually people mindsets are changing as well. It's going to be a huge transformation in the industry. So your mindset needs to change. You need to be able to solve problems, analyze data. So but that's the reason why we see the numbers in like I was saying on my previous presentations, fatalities, recordable incidents, etc., are too high, are still too high. Why? Because we are tackling the behavior of the employees and not tackling the behavior of management. So, but don't worry, for industrial revolution is going to do that sooner or later. It's going to happen to you. You accept it or not, really that is going to happen. And that's the reason why now the oil and gas industry and the mining industry, they start doing that shifting as well. And no balance is management needs to assess how other departments they're gonna be impact and create that balance. Who's gonna do what and who's gonna do when. That's the thing that you need to do. You cannot imbalance one department and load one department and the other one no. So prime example in quality assurance, right, in the pharmaceutical industry. So now manufacturing and quality and manufacturing and process and engineering, they need to be responsible and, for example, to conduct incident investigations, to able to to provide answers for CAPAs and read and be able to interpret that data as well to prevent those occurrences in the future by generating ideas. So now you need to force now everybody to work in teams every time, having those type of conversations, because one of the things that we don't do nowadays is talk. We spend too much time on the cell phone, and that's going to be by the way, mentioning that, another reason now analyzing these cycles, these root causes. So in other words, if you are not able to establish conversations, critical conversations to generate their own ideas and your own know-how, that's something that is going to be very critical for you, and you need better. You need to start um, shaping actually that skill. It's very important. Okay, we continue. That's the root causes. So the question is, what does the 30% that are achievement transformation do to succeed? What they do to have that cultural change? Well, you can see here there are different elements that they are interconnected. The first one is connect employees. So the employees shall understand how important is for the organization and how valuable it is to make your company their works adaptable to satisfy the market. You need to connect with them. You need to tell them how important it is, how important the job is, and how important it's that that person needs to contribute with ideas to achieve this transformation. So we need to connect with people. Discover. Well, um, we need to adapt, and therefore we need to review, share, and update these practices to the entire organization, and they need to match with the demands of the market, and with the demands also with your human capital of your company. So by sharing those ideas and finding the know-how, that's the thing that your procedures, for example, they need to be updated, they need to be reviewed, and they need to be shared. So information needs to be shared to achieve their goals, such as reducing incidents, such as reducing waste, increasing quality, reducing production time, passing products of the first time through quality control, etc. Those type of things. The only thing that you're going to achieve it is having those conversations. Enable. So decode tacit knowledge. So you need to be enable. I mean, you need to decode that, accumulate that skills and knowledge and abilities and expertise that your people have built up through the years, working in different companies or working in your same company. Either way, they have that knowledge. Deliver. So you need to be able to optimize, excuse me, and understand the tacit knowledge. You need to optimize that and understand. And that's something that is going to give you the advantage in the future, and it's something that is going to save cost in your management system. Problem solving. This is one of actually one of the 10 skills that companies or even you have your own business, you need to have by 2020. You need to be able to solve problems. So standards are, like I said, standards and regulation are rigorous, and many times they are not negotiable. That is a reality. But because of that doesn't mean that it's an excuse. So you need to comply because it's paramount for the organization, but you don't need to stop creativity, and but also you need to keep analyzing data, reading data. Expertise. So you need experts in your organization that should be capable to do three things. One is know the standard extensively, so perfect, ins and outs, and have a practical experience and they need to be capable to establish relationships with employees and workers. That's the three things that now your experts need to do or need to have. Again, it's not the standard extensively or ins and out, ins and out. Have practical experience, capable to establish relationship with employees and workers. And something that I mentioned on my last article, and actually during this investigation I found it, and I found that that's very interesting, is use assessment as a teaching platforms. People now we have the mindset that hazard assessment, risk assessments, they are headaches, but really they are not. You change your mindset. There are teaching platforms. Why? Because when you conduct a hazard assessment or a risk assessment or any type of assessments, you don't do it by yourself. You do it by having a group of people giving you their inputs, their expertises, their ideas to solve a specific problem. Therefore, you need to generate a system to transfer that knowledge and share it and teach it to the rest of the people, to actually share it through the entire organization. That's the reason why hazard assessments they are becoming so important. And recommit to a cultural change that the final results is nothing will be solved by using the old practice. You need to shift your mindsets. You need to have this type of practices. You need to have a lot of interaction with your people to start sharing those ideas and find your own know-how. That's the thing that is going to make you more successful in the management systems and more successful in this era that changes is happening as we speak. Today is something, tomorrow is something different, and we see it in our cell phones, right? Now you have the iPhone 10, maybe in 6 months, I don't know, maybe you want to have the iPhone 11. We don't know. So now you have virtual reality, you have artificial intelligence. Sorry, so you have many things that are changing your industry. People's mentality are changing every day. They're more independent. So what you're gonna adjust to that is you need to recommit to culture change. Okay, so in conclusion, we need two things to balance and to make your management system successful. One is creativity and problem solving. Problem solving. These two components they're gonna make your management system successful. Thank you very much, everybody, and see you next time for the next topic. Bye.